Home is not a place. It is the people you carry with you. But what happens when these people are scattered across different parts of the ocean, making new lives for themselves and trying desperately to hold on to shared identity? Today on Lost in Transit podcast, we dive deep into that question with a man who is quite popular amongst Nigerians in the UK. His name is Oluomo of Derby, and he's the founder of the Nigerians in the UK community. In this very powerful and honest conversation, it dives deep into the reasons he started the community, the lessons learned, the impacts, the prospects, and the challenges of building a community for Nigerians in the UK.
This is your professional champagne popper sushi sound.
My name is Adedayo.
My name is Mary.
My name is Tanya Bola.
My name is Tolu Akinyemi.
I work as a financial health and support advisor.
I'm the author of Black Multipod.
Lion of Newcastle.
I'm on the Lost in Transit podcast.
The Lost in Transit podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Lost in Transit podcast. And as I mentioned earlier in the introduction, who I have with me today is none other than the big man himself, the man whose reputation precedes him. In fact, he is one of the most popular Nigerians here in the UK. Ladies and gentlemen, I have with me Benjamin Kuti, also known as Oluomo of Derby. Welcome to the show.
Welcome. Thank you very much. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me. Always glad to be on board and participating in this kind of intro conversation. But yeah.
Thank you so much. I see you wearing the sweatshirt for the Nigerians in the UK.
Yeah, it's our logo, isn't it? So
yeah.
Obviously, I do wear it to a lot of interviews and stuff. Obviously showing off exactly what we're all about and then put it out there. We also sell it online if you're interested. We have mouse pad, key rings, pens and stuff. Yeah.
Good.
Just basically putting us out there. Yeah.
Good. Today we're going to be talking solely or largely about the Nigerians in the UK, the community that you and your colleagues have built together to give Nigerians a voice and help them feel, help them belong, despite being away from home. But before we talk about that, let's start with you. Let's talk about your journey to relocating to the UK. How did it start? What happened? What prompted you, and why did you decide to?
So obviously, many years ago, one of my uncles feels like, after secondary at school, you know how it is in Nigeria, struggling to get admission and stuff. One of my uncles just said, listen, why don't Ben come to the UK and stuff? And then my mom just felt, well, why not? And the rest was history. I came down. Obviously, I have a very UK territory here. Like the last one of my family was born in the UK.
Right.
So UK's always been a second home. But it's always been like you come here on holidays, going back home. But that was the final decision to say, you know what, let's come down here and then get the ball running from there. But yeah, that's it.
Good. And what year was that?
That's in 2007.
Oh, that's about 12, 15 years ago?
More than that.
More than that? Okay, interesting, man. Horrible.
That's almost 18 years ago.
Right. Yeah. Good. And how have you find it?
UK is my second home. Amazing. It's a land of opportunity. I feel blessed, being part of this. And I was, doing my part, as a Nigerian in the UK to play my role to make sure, a lot of things have changed.
Yeah.
The UK wasn't what it is before. When we first came, a lot of us have a lot of racism issues. There's a lot of issues. I don't know if you heard the likes of Stephen Lawrence that was killed in Eltham in 1993. So there's been a lot of fights along that path. But so far, so good. We're still getting there.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've got good news. We've got a sponsor. Yes, indeed, we've got our very first sponsor, and that is Backyard Africa Restaurants. It's a very new, very posh, newly opened restaurants. What they do really is to serve you Nigerian delicacies and African delicacies, and they're newly opened. Guess what? Because they are our sponsor, they agreed to give 20% off for all the walk-in orders from the 1st of January 2026 to the end of January 2026. Waiting for, if you've got family in Manchester, this is a fantastic time to treat yourself to great meal offerings. Don't forget, once you get there, mention LIT, L-I-T, the Lost in Transit podcast. That is your code to get 20% off your meal. Gonna love it. Now, let's get back into the show. Excellent. Now, let's ask you, I'm going to put it to a test. Of course, you didn't see this coming.
Yeah.
Typically, we ask our guests how to check how Nigerian they still are. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions about Nigeria. Let's see how well you fare. Are you ready for it?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Good. Yeah. So let's start with the easy ones. What is the capital of Nigeria?
Abuja.
Are you sure?
Absolutely.
Right. Okay. So what are the three major ethnic groups in Nigeria?
Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo.
Okay. Interesting. What is Nigeria's largest city?
That's a good question. I think it's Lagos, to the best of my knowledge.
Okay.
It's Lagos, yeah.
And which river is the longest in Nigeria?
Oof, oof,
There we go. Okay.
To be honest,
What's your wildest guess?
not even comes to my head. to
Are
be
you
honest.
serious?
Yeah, not even comes
It's
to my head.
one of the two rivers that's, reportedly was influenced the name Nigeria. The two rivers, if you look at the map.
I did.
So yeah, exactly. You're getting there. River.
River Niger?
Exactly. Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So,
Okay, thank you.
what is Nigeria's national symbol?
Green, white, green.
Okay. Good. Excellent. I see you're still very Nigerian. That is so good.
Absolutely.
Well done. So now let's talk about Nigerians in the UK. Right. Let's start with it. But before we even get deeper into that, I'd ask you this question. What do you think is the most, let me use the word. What do you think is the biggest challenge that Nigerians have in the UK?
For me, the biggest challenge Nigeria has in the UK has to be regularizing your immigration status. It has to be the biggest factor. A lot of our people come in here. Listen, until you have the indefinite leave to remain, you're basically one leg in, one leg out. So a lot of people, for the past couple of months, Home Office has been revoking a lot of people's licenses, a lot of companies' licenses. A lot of people that Japa, especially after COVID, are the biggest factors itself. And the bottom line is, it doesn't give that stability. You can be okay 1 minute, and you cannot be okay the next minute, I mean, every day I get a lot of DMs, at least 10, 15 DMs in a day, people having different immigration issues and stuff, whereby, they're working, they're perfectly fine, living a good life, and the next thing the Home Office is telling them, you have 60 days to leave the UK. Right. So that's the biggest challenge that we have in our community.
Interesting.
I mean, regularizing immigration stay. I mean, we've done a lot of spaces, programs about regularizing immigration stay, indefinitely to remain in the UK, what you can do, what you cannot do. But that's the biggest factor that gives a lot of people sleepless nights.
Interesting. Now let's talk about NIUK itself. Let's start from the beginning. What really inspired the creation of the community?
So, like I said, I mean, I've been here for many, many years, and we've never had something like this before. It's always been an issue about people want to get help. There's not a lot of stuff like that. In 2021, I was invited to an Indian in Derby organization group, and they actually bought a center. So, for example, if you Google, there's something Indian Community Center in Derby. Okay. So it's actually bought by the Indians contributing money together. I think it's about £143,000 there. Wow. And this is the Indians in Derby. So I was just like, what exactly is wrong with us as Nigerians? Understand? There's a lot of us in the UK, we talk about we're so smart with this, but how come we're not united? How come, I mean, we don't even have a Nigerian community center in the UK itself, understand? I mean, if you go online now and let's contribute, we should be able to raise even £250,000 among ourselves and then buy one Nigerian like community center that, so for example, a lot of Indians in Derby, people after coming to work, they go there. So when you get there, there's people selling their food, there's people doing their cleaning, there's opportunities, they have their TV there and stuff. So they just came to me and said, okay. So on the Twitter space 2022, we had a few conversations with some friends and stuff. And I'm not saying, well, let's get this ball rolling. Understand? Let's talk more action. So I jumped into action. I created the community itself. There's a few people who are very close to me that feel like, you know what, they've been here as well long enough. Okay, let's come on board together because this is a community. Right. I might be the founder of NIUK, but obviously I need people who also come to make it work. Exactly. And that's exactly where the ideas and everything came. And it was created on the 17th of March, 2022. And in fact, the first 500 people, for me, honestly, the plan was if we had 1,000 people, for me, it's a success. And I'm happy with it. Right. You understand? And obviously, we pushed it out there. The vision was there. The passion was there. For me, the most important is the passion itself. Because you could build something, but without the passion and the consistency. And of course, with my influence, being one of the faces for Nigerians in Diaspora, the influence was there as well. A lot of people came on board. And before you knew it, people were reaching out from America, Canada, Australia. Now we now have about 17 Nigerian communities on Twitter and Diaspora. Nigerians in the US, Canada, Australia, Finland, Germany, Turkey, even Middle East,
Right.
just Middle East itself, UAE, Bahrain, Oman, and that was it. And that's how the journey started. Itself,
Interesting. And how does that make you feel personally?
Makes me feel great. For me, NIUK's legacy for me. I've been here for a very long time, and like yourself, most people do after a while. Maybe go back to Nigeria.
Right.
I'm very passionate about governance. I have my goals, my dreams as well. That maybe one day, obviously, go back home. All the things we've learned in abroad, take the governance back home to say I can do better. So for me, even if I leave UK one day, NIUK is a legacy for me.
Right.
There's nothing better than having an impact in a place whereby, in our community, people are learning how to drive. We have an NIUK mortgage group, people are buying properties. It's just some of the spaces we do. It's creating the vision, giving people the information, the knowledge, you understand? A lot of people don't know a lot of things, you understand?
Right.
But until they get it right, sometimes I see it on the TL, some people say, hey, you can't buy a house if you haven't been here for more than 5 years. I'll be like, what is some of you? Why you need the right information?
Right.
Yes, there's some mortgage lenders, for example, like who are not pro-migrants, understand?
Their policies.
There's some who are very pro-migrants, you understand? So it's about you knowing what. So for example, Halifax can give you a mortgage in 2-3 years, even just after a year. But there's some mortgages whereby if you don't have indefinite leave to remain in the UK, have a British passport, they will not give it to you.
Right.
But there's a lot of opportunities there. So information is the key. So when we have some of our Twitter spaces, we bring guest speakers on there who can also educate us, enlighten us. So you are sort of open a lot of people's eyes. You understand? This is what you can do. This is what you cannot do. So the community is a life-changing for a lot of people.
Good.
Almost every day, someone reach out, how they connected some of the job. Some days, people have been married in community.
Interesting.
They had a marriage to January this year.
Nice.
And they started meeting in community. So many amazing things happen in the community. People pass their driving, they come and put in the community, they graduate, they bring their friends to come and share with them, they celebrate their birthday. So all these things for me makes us one big family of Nigerians.
I like that you've emphasized the positives, the many positives that there have been. But as you would imagine, with a growing community like that, and quite popular it has become, with that kind of visibility also comes some sort of criticism. Right. Now, so how would you respond to those who think or who say that the NIUK has become chaotic or mismanaged?
Fantastic. So the bottom line is no organization is perfect. I think we need to look inwards. So, sometimes as a leader, especially as a leader of a community, as an NIUK, and not just of Nigerians in the UK as well, you don't have to react on so many things. The bottom line is, when I started this community, I reached out to so many, many people. A lot of people are not interested. So it was a matter of like myself, there's a gentleman called SK, there's a lady called Violet, just the three of us. So it was basically like, okay, we're just using our ideas. We'll try, would it work? Would this not work? That kind of stuff. And so many amazing things we're doing to push it to
the public.
So you now go to the state, the visibility was like all over the world. Articles in Nigeria about newspapers, ministry was reaching out and stuff. People were reaching out from everywhere. So suddenly, a lot of people wanted to jump on board. You understand? At that stage, I was closing the doors. I said, I'm sorry, no. You can be a member, but you can't have because listen, I built my time, sweat, sleepless nights for this community. Understand? So I'm not going to let some people just come random because the community is now popular. They now suddenly want to jump on the bandwagon. I believe as a community, me myself being a Democrat, is the Nigerian community belongs to every one of us. So I'm not going to be like, because I'm the founder of the community, I have to have the biggest say. No, the community belongs to every one of us. I'm not disputing that fact, you understand? Because I like to be civil. But as much as that, a lot of people I reached out to at the beginning were not interested. But suddenly, everybody's interested. Now, going back to your question, like I said, no organization is perfect. Don't forget, we only been just about 3 years. We just about 3 years itself. The committee was created on the 17th of March 2022. So we're not there yet. We just making progress.
Stage, right.
We're bound to make a lot of mistakes. Understand? It's normal. So for me, what I want to say is, this whole Nigerian syndrome, the whole pull down syndrome, issues, naysayers, and the saddest part is on some of the critics that criticize things, but we celebrate a lot of things every day in the community. We do a lot of spaces. You rarely see them there. But once there's an issue, they're the biggest loudmouth. And for me, I mean, I've said it so many times. Listen, if it's easy, you go and create your own community and also do it.
I love it.
It's not that simple.
Energy. I love it.
Nobody's perfect.
Right, dude.
And even if someone's wrong or not doing things right, let's create each other with love. You understand? Listen, I mean, we Nigerians were crying aloud. Oluomo, no, let's do things this way. This and that, understand? We all have to learn from each other. Nobody knows it all. I've done the best to my knowledge. Understand? I mean, I've created a company that has, we now have 24,000 members. So I've done my best in my knowledge. So if you can also do it, let's come together and push each other so we can move on. Maybe now, let's say the community is in level 2 now. Bring your ideas. No, let's do this ABCD. Let's share it. We'll move to the next level. Not criticizing stuff, putting each other down. There's a lot of other communities in the UK. You see the Asians, the Pakistanis, the Irish, the Jewish, they're making progress.
Right.
Understand? So in our community, we should be coming together and how to uplift ourselves to make sure we have one loud voice. Otherwise, we're really going to have ourselves to blame.
Interesting. Right. That's very powerful. Thank you very much. I know, because I follow and I'm a member of the community and I see the progressive ideas there have been and the deliberate attempt to keep moving forward. I know that there's currently, I think it's later today or something, there's a third reading of the Constitution. But aside that, what are the other things that's currently in place to ensure that there's a deliberate attempt to keep moving forward and ensure accountability in the future?
So like I said earlier on, as a Democrat, so one of the things that for me, I wish we did from day one, like the Constitution, for example, understand? It's always nice when you have a member of a team, maybe 8, 10 of us, we can vote. Let's do this, let us do that. So sort of an in-power balance in there. But from day one, like I said, a lot of people are not interested in community. And I can tell you that now on Twitter, obviously there's a lot of Nigerian community, but if NIUK wasn't successful, the passion that I gave it from day one was there, a lot of people not be interested even up to date. Understand? But that's the thing of the past. I'm also glad that 24,000 people also believe in my vision to come on board because listen, the community is free. You don't have to be in a community if you don't. But clearly, when I created the community, it was for a vision and a purpose. And for me, that purpose has been achieved. Right. That vision has been achieved. And it's also glad to see a lot of people come on board. Now, if we had a lot of conscience from day one, I believe a lot of mistakes we've done wouldn't have happened. Right. The Constitution put all of us sort of a governance structure to say, okay, this is how much exactly we can spend. This is how much exactly we can do. So, for example, now, maybe I'm going to represent the committee or maybe a member of the committee is going to represent, okay, we can only allocate maybe £100 for your travel expenses. Right. If you're going to book an hotel, maybe look for a budget of £70. But before that wasn't the case, you understand? Well, we're just using our own discretion and stuff to the best of our knowledge. You understand? That's exactly what it is. So if you had a constitution since 2020, a lot of things would have been done right. You understand? But I still believe, I did a lot of things to the best of my knowledge, like I said, but with the constitution coming on board, it makes me happy and it shows exactly the passion to get so that at least the next 2-3 years, some mistakes we've made will not happen. So we'll get things right. So everybody's okay. If anyone's going to come in here, so for example, as a moderator, maybe you have a 12 months tenure. Right. But before, it was just like, okay, we're
ready
just
to moderate.
That kind of, so a lot of things that are there. We're not there yet, but I believe we're making the right progress.
I think it's very, very essential that the Constitution is currently being looked into because I believe also very strongly that one of the things it would achieve is also sustainability.
Absolutely.
To decide how do we hand over. And I think that's one of the challenge going by, expressions on Twitter, for example, that's one of the things that many people are not clear about. So how long is this person going to lead us for? What is going to happen after? What will be the modus operandi to, hand over power and things like that. So it is indeed very good that we go working towards a constitution. But I'd ask you this question on a personal note. I know very strongly that community leadership is never an easy thing, especially with Nigerians who have opinions about everything. On a personal note, tell me, how challenging has this been for you?
It's been very challenging. So for me, some people even call me a politician. People have their different. So I'm always open to ideas. We're here to agree to disagree. And the funny part is, even when I want to make some decisions, so there's probably like a 8-10 man team I also reach out to. What do you think? Sometimes I could reach out to 10 of my close friends, and maybe 8 of them say, "Oluomo, no, don't let's do it," and 2 of them say, "Yes, let's do it." So I'll be like, okay, this 8 said no, and I'll just shove the idea. So when it comes to the community itself, there's a lot of ideas. So for example, last year someone came up with an idea saying, "Oh, we have over £40,000 in a bank account. Let's have an open party. People should come and celebrate." So I was like, no, we can't just take the money community purse to come and have a party. Yeah. No. the bottom line is we don't have a party, we're going to rent a hall and stuff. Let people also pay. Since people also have to give back to the community. And that's something a hill I would die on all day long. Understand? And I still believe the conversation that we have to go back to the drawing board. That a lot of us are in the UK here. So if they're asking to pay £12 a year membership, that works out to £1 a month for a Nigerian community that you belong, there's no community in this world that you're getting part of that doesn't need funding. Understand? And at this stage, it's not even about the numbers, it's about having organic followers. People who believe in that vision. People reach out every day for different problems. You don't have to have a problem before you know that you need to do something, something's right. You understand? So for me, yes, people are entitled to express themselves. Is a free world, but let's have civil conversations. Let's have civil disagreements. We can agree to disagree in a respectful manner. And I think that's, for me, one of the key parts. I mean, people have been removed from the community for abusing people. Understand? So, I mean, if you can abusing people in a community of 24,000 people, then I'm sorry, you don't belong to this kind of a community, then I'm sorry, you shouldn't be here. Understand? Yes, not everything we're going to do you have to agree on, but let's have civil disagreements. Let's learn from each other and, put your points across. And people, okay, this seems like a good idea, actually. Let's do it. And then we'll take it from there. But yeah.
Right. Quite interesting you say that because I have watched the interactions amongst Nigerians on Twitter, particularly when it comes to matters relating to the NIUK, and you can tell how passionate every individual is about moving it forward. Of course, there have been detractors and many others like that, Absolutely. But a large percentage really are just interested in making sure it works. And of course, everybody understands that. Of course, we see the other communities doing so well, and we wonder why we cannot do that. And I absolutely agree that a constitution, for example, and having an open mind, like you said, in your leadership style is very critical to that. So I'd ask you now again, there have been a lot of talks that are not exactly favorable, right? Not just for you personally, but also for the community that you're trying to build. How does this sometimes affect you? Do you feel sometimes that what you're looking to do, which of course is to help the public, sometimes you feel like you're not being appreciated enough? Does that really, how does that make you feel sometimes when you see such detracting messages thrown at you?
So for me, I think that's part of leadership. That's part of life. If you know what you're doing, you believe in yourself, and you're doing the right thing. Even, when people say there's toxicity in the community sometimes, so I'm asking myself, so is that exactly what you see? There's a lot of, I would say 90% of positive things. Then we have a 10% of not so great issues and stuff, which is part of any community. There's no community in this world, no organization that does not have its own issues. So when I see people saying the community is too toxic and stuff, so is that all you see in the amazing? Almost every Sunday, we do an educated space every Sunday. There's a buying a house, driving the UK, mental health awareness, and so many other things. Regularizing immigration status and stuff. So many things we do every day, every week. So all you can see is a toxicity. So I'm sorry, then if that's what you see, then you have no business to be in the community. Understand? Because instead of the toxicity you're saying and negative you're saying, what are you also adding value? A lot of people are just all talk. And that's something that happens a lot with Nigerians. We do a lot of talk, no actions, understand? If you're saying this is the issue, what are the ideal solutions you also bring forward? You're a Nigerian just like me.
Right.
You understand? I'm not more Nigerian than you. But I must be Oluomo, I have to do everything. No, I've created a community for crying out loud. You understand? Let all of us come together and bring your ideas, how we can move it forward. I mean, a lot of people reach out to me, different ideas all the time and stuff. There's a gentleman, what's he called? 2023. He reached out and said, you know what? Every weekend, we should be having these spaces and stuff. That's even when the spaces started. Okay, fantastic idea. So let's start doing something every Sunday. This was somebody's idea. You understand? So he feels like we should do spaces on Sunday because it's more, people are calm, people have state and people are ready. So that way, because we used to do spaces like on the Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And it's like, Oluomo, I don't think a lot of people have to join. People are not rested. Sunday is the perfect time. And I thought, you know what? This guy makes sense.
Right.
And that was it. You understand? So the bottom line is, even when you look at our nation, for example, how Nigeria is and stuff, people criticize things every day. But like Melo said, what are you also adding value to make sure this country is great again? You understand? Right. I don't know if you've seen what's happened the past few days. We're doing 10,000 laptops for 10,000 Nigerians. I don't know if you saw it.
Right.
Even so, those of us in diaspora, no matter what it is, if it's one or two things, add your value to it, and it's only going to get better. The same to the community. Fine, we know where we are. There's issues. We're doing better, moving forward. What value are you adding? You don't just sit down, in your home or somewhere in your laptop, and then you're criticizing every day, criticizing the Nigerian community. I mean, it's not rocket science. Bring something to the table and show us too, because end of the people are doing that Nigerian just like you. No one is special. So what value are you also bringing to the table? That's the key for me.
And that's a big challenge, because really, I mean, oftentimes people just say, I've got an idea. I think this could be done better. I think that could be done better. So you're saying now that the NIUK, the board leadership, is open to ideas from any Nigerian in the UK, as many ideas as possible, and you are happy to consider it. Even if you don't do it, at least there is an open space, an open platform for people to share ideas with you. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we've put it out there so many times. We have an NIUK community at gmail.com. You can send an email with ideas. The people who are the executive of the community will look into it, bring it, they reach out. There's so many things. There's a lot of time we'll pull a tweet out. We need volunteers. Right. People hardly volunteer. Everybody's forming busy. I'm not disputing that. But then the people who are doing the job, you're sitting down there, criticize them 24/7. People are not paid to do this job. Understand? So instead of you criticizing them, understand, you two stand up and come and volunteer for the community. I mean, we're all Nigerians. So come and volunteer. If you can volunteer for the community, whatever idea you have, we'll bring you on board. What matters is the Nigerian community is progressing. Because listen, if it doesn't progress, it affects every one of us. Absolutely. We're Nigerian. You go to an event, there's an Indian community, there's a Jewish community, there's Asian community. They're doing some amazing job. I was invited to the Mayor of London's event recently in London as, as a representative for the Nigerian community. And I was glad to be there. And I was glad to see a lot of different members of different communities and stuff. The same thing when we went to African Bank stuff in January in London, Canary Wharf in London. We met Zimbabwe community members, we met Egyptian community members, South African community members, and you felt good. Okay, I mean, we also came. I also came with about 8 of our community members. We also felt good, like, yes, we are Nigerian community. We're here to represent ourselves, to make us feel good. Otherwise, we'll be left behind. So we have to stand up and make sure we have one voice that can uplift all of us together.
Okay, that is very good. Thank you very much. Now, okay, so despite the criticisms, like you mentioned earlier, there have been quite a number of them. Yeah. Let's share some of the success stories. You mentioned earlier people have gotten married and met, on the platform, which is absolutely fantastic. But let's share some of the very, very huge success stories that you've achieved, that you and your team have achieved for the past 3 years. Do you want to let me in on some of them, please?
I mean, there's a lot of success stories. Right. Lots. I mean, the sad part sometimes of our life is the bad news goes
viral.
So one of the biggest thing that makes me really happy that something I look past as was the fact that I think there was in 2023, a lady reached out to me around 4 o'clock, say, Oluomo, there's these 2 Nigerian students. I always notice them sitting at London Victoria coach station. Like, she noticed them. They're there almost for the past 2 weeks. So she goes, she comes back. And she now said, So she now said she now reached out, going to ask them that, what exactly is the issue? So they now told her that, they booked an Airbnb from Nigeria. Right. And of course, who can afford to live in Airbnb in the UK every day? So after I think it was 9 days or 10 days, they kicked them out, because they didn't have any money left. So they didn't know what to do. Their family back home couldn't make any money for them. So we're just basically going to work. Going to uni, showering, changing at London Victoria toilet and downstairs, and then sit down at the coach station, sleep overnight. So the lady reached out and I said to her, okay, you know what? Ask them for their number. They didn't even have a UK, they had a WhatsApp, a Nigerian WhatsApp number. So she reached out, she was there. I didn't even know what to do at that stage. I was just like, 2 people, this is serious. Well, I just put the tweets. I composed the tweets, put it out there. This is situation. We have 2 Nigerian students, homeless, blah, blah, and stuff. So I had a lot of people in DM me. I mean, more than even 30. Some people in Scotland, some people in Wales say, can they jump on the train? So they're at the coach station. Tell them to jump on the coach. They come. I was like, how would they get to school? But then at that stage, it was more like, let them just even have
a place.
Have a place. So a gentleman reached out to me, fantastic guy. In fact, I still spoke to him a couple of days ago. He reached out to me, Oluomo, I have a extra room. Understand? They can come and stay here for like a month. They don't have to pay anything or whatever. So now, cut the story short, this guy actually booked an Uber for them from the coach station to now drop them at his house. Wow. So they got there, they had a shower, he cooked a proper Nigerian meal for them and everything. In fact, the guy messaged me and said, Oluomo, for the first time, I had a proper meal.
Oh, bless.
To now cut the story short, this guy actually now found him a job where he was working. So he was like one of the stewards at West Ham Football Stadium.
Right.
So they now got a job, the two of them as students. They got a part-time job working in football stewards for the stadium. So the guy now told them that they should just save their money. So from their house, they saved money to go and rent their own place.
That's good.
So the icing on the cake for me is that instant support system. Understand? I mean, we all do respect to some other communities. We have a lot of associations in the UK that you can send an email 3 months, you know, if you get a response back. But the difference in NIUK is you get that instant reaction, that instant support system. The girl sent me an email. She sent me the message on DM around 4:30, I think 4 something.
Right.
And by 6 something, we've got a solution for these people.
Right.
The problem they've been having for 2 weeks was resolved in 2 hours. Not just resolved, also got them a job. They were working. And from that job, they're now going to their uni, coming back home, and also now looking after themselves, paying their rent. For me, that's one of the biggest success stories.
Right.
And those kind of stories makes me happy, makes me proud to say, listen, having those impacts in people's life. I mean, there's a lot of stories I could talk about.
Right. This is quite emotional. I can't imagine, because I came here on a study visa, and I can't imagine having to deal with the stress and struggle of, doing well in uni and also looking for a place to stay. It's really overwhelming. But yeah, thank you. So we always do have an email from one of our listeners, and I've got one here, and essentially about what we've been talking about so far. It reads, Dear Lost in Transit team, I hope this reaches you. I really hope this reaches you before your interview with Oluomo. Yeah, as someone who has followed the Nigerians in the UK community for a while and even tried to be a part of it, I'm honestly frustrated by how disorganized everything has become. What started as a promising idea to unite Nigerians in the UK now looks like another example of how we struggle with structure and accountability even abroad. Twitter has been full of complaints, allegations of mismanagement, power tussles, and lack of clarity about who's running what. Quite disappointing, because this community has so much potential. Please, during your interview, ask the hard questions. What's really been done about these issues? How is Oluomo addressing the chaos and accusations? And most importantly, how can NIUK rebuild trust among Nigerians in the UK who genuinely want to connect but are now skeptical?
Okay, fantastic. So that's a very, very good point. So firstly, no organization is perfect. Secondly, we've made a lot of mistakes. Like I said, I really wish there was a lot of hands on deck from day one, which is unfortunate. You understand? A lot of people are not interested in the communities. That's just the truth. I mean, I don't really like going down the front end part, because obviously we got the deal for some brands, and suddenly a lot of people are interested out of the blue. I mean, I can't read people's mind, because, okay, what's the question that suddenly, when brand deals came in, suddenly you were interested in the community? What about before? I mean, I was using my personal funds to run a community in 2022. There's a time 2023, I nearly deleted the community, I nearly closed down the community. Yeah. So it was one of my guys, SK and stuff, that felt like, no, you shouldn't do it and stuff. Because you get to a stage that, okay, we're doing this. A lot of people are just all talk. But there's no support system. Right. You understand? You can't expect me to be using my personal funds to be paying graphic designers every month in the community. I've been doing this 2022. I have all the receipts and funds. I mean, nobody knows NIUK better than me. I founded the community. I can tell you everything's happened from day one in this community. Understand? So a lot of things whereby I was also frustrated, and I said, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't bother myself doing this. Understand? And then it closed down the community. It was, 2 phone calls that made me change my mind. Because I reached that limit to saying this, I can't be doing this anymore. Even my brother SK even told me not to stop the graphic design. You can't be using your personal money to be paying people. I mean, I go to a lot of events. I go to a lot of funerals when people pass away and stuff. I'm using my personal fund to travel expenses, booking hotels. So there's a limit to everything, understand? Because the end of the day it was a situation that, okay, is that how we're doing this, or we leave it? Listen, I've been in the UK for many years. With all due respect, I'm okay in my own way. You understand? For me, I just felt like, except with the old Japa syndrome, people coming in, it was really common sense we have something, that we have a voice. Understand? Because other communities, other African countries do. Understand? So why is that we are left behind? Understand? And some of our associations that also created, they're not that proactive. Just say, for example, the situation with the student I told you.
Right.
If they are sent an email from organization, like 3 months down the line, they will not even get a reply. But you can see the difference with NIUK, the instant proactive there. Now, coming back to your question as well, the bottom line is there's going to be issues. I'm also happy that we're doing our third constitution now. A lot of things. So hopefully next couple of weeks, this constitution will be put in place. For me, that's the most important thing, that we reassure every serious, intentional member of the community to understand, okay, we are making progress, understand? So nobody can come and do anyhowness. Understand? Even me, the founder of the community, I can't just be, okay, we want to do this. No. There's a rule there for every one of us. This is what we have to follow. So it's sort of the constitution guides all of us. It's okay. Whatever tenure you're doing is 2 years, is 1 year, it's there for all of us in the constitution. Now, I mean, I love that question, the fact that there's a lot of naysayers. There's also a lot of, obviously, the positivity, but that's part of what it is as an organization. So for me, it's even as a naysayer, what are you doing yourself as a Nigerian? Why must the pressure always be some bunch of people only? You understand? I mean, I've done a lot of my part. You understand? A lot of things that I've done, a lot of people won't do it. I see people tell me this every day. You understand? I've been to forums of people raise funds for people that I don't even have a clue who they are. Right. But this is what comes a community. Further, you're Nigerian, because the fact that is nobody knows tomorrow. I might be in a situation tomorrow that I will need my people to support me. You. And that's what goes around. Life, I mean, this life is a funny life. I've seen people doing well today, and tomorrow's a different story. You understand? So you need to have an open mind, you understand, to see how things work. Now, regarding some mismanagement and stuff, you see that there's some conversation that I will still have all day long. We all live in the UK. People are paying bills. People are surviving and stuff. And you want some people to be running the community, living their own time and effort. There is no way anyone's going to run the community or support it without also getting some initiatives, you understand? As it may be stipends, for example, you understand? You cannot say people to travel with their personal funds going to support the community, you understand? You can't say people to leave their time and be doing something stuff. So some brands we work with, they want to have a meeting with you 3-4 times in a week. So you expect me to leave my job during the day to attend to a meeting, a brand 2 hours. Right. But the brand's also going to be paying us. So they're not bothered if you can't leave, if you can't attend the meeting, because they're paying for a service. So some questions we're going to ask ourselves is that we're ready to do certain things. I see people say, oh no one should be getting paid, blah, blah, and stuff. But are you going to leave your own personal time to come and support the community and do stuff for the community? The answer is no. So when I'm talking about initiative and maybe £200 a month, just something to also support the person, to appreciate them for what they do for the community. Because a lot of time, a lot of the brands and some jobs and stuff we do also needs funding. It also needs your personal time. So for me, the bottom line is we need to go back to the drawing board and have these honest conversations. This is UK, not Nigeria. Understand? Time is pressure for everybody. I've seen some people criticize stuff, but you're going to work to get paid. So you expect that people to leave their job to come and do stuff for the community. So why don't you leave your own job and talk? People have bills to pay. You understand? So for me, it's just a conversation that we need to understand. We have to get things right. Understand? There's always going to be issues. So when there's issues, what are also the solutions? How do we resolve it? And I believe this kind of question we're having, but the most important fact is let's have the constitution on board, and that will be the sort of the opening eye set for everybody to understand, okay, NIUK is making progress. Yes, we've had issues. Yes, we've had a lot of positivity, which is part of it. And maybe you like it or not, NIUK is there to stay. Understand? NIUK has made a lot of points. It's exactly what it is before. That even the Nigerian embassy, people criticize the embassy every day. True. But we're going to say the embassy should close down or something? Exactly. Of course not, you understand? I mean, a lot of people, some of these things we've done in the community, even the embassy can't even do it. You understand? We go to prison to visit people. You understand? I'll be in court on the 17th of November to go and visit the Nigerian who's in court for a serious situation. You know, this is a guy that is from reached out from Nigeria. They've never heard from him since he had the.
Oh, wait, I saw that on your post recently.
Yes, that's the issue. You understand? Right. So I mean, I made some inquiry. I found out this guy's in prison. You understand? You know, so even I'm busy myself. I've had to take that day off just to go to court. So I'll be able to tell his parents and his family exactly what the situation is. They have no update in the dark. Wow. You understand? You know, even when I rang the prison, they said to me I couldn't book an appointment until maybe sometime in January. Wow. You understand? So it's that bad. So the parents don't have a clue what's going on. I don't have access to the guy. So, but at least if I go to court on that day, I can give them a feedback and speak to him, get in contact with his lawyer, and then take it from there. So there's a lot we're doing behind the closed doors that people don't see. Understand? On that 17th of November, am I getting paid? Of course not. I'm not getting paid. I'm taking my time, my effort to go and do this under Nigeria. So our people need to understand that, listen, because you're okay today doesn't mean you're going to be okay tomorrow. So we need a community that everybody can have a come together as one big family, because you know that if anything happens to you, you have a community
that can support you.
Absolutely.
Great.
Thank you.
So on a final note now, you mentioned earlier that, one of the things that really thrilled you was when you went to the Asian community and you said that they had like a hall or something like that, right? Yeah. So tell me, do you have what big goal? What is the biggest thing you hope to achieve with the Nigerian in the UK, whether with you as the leader or otherwise?
So for me, there's a lot of goals. There's a lot of goals. A lot of things can happen overnight. Some of my visions have come to pass. The first vision is obviously having us in one place, having one strong voice as NIUK. A lot of Nigerian company people want to reach out. There's Gary recently who said was coming to the UK for the first time. So when he got to Murtala Airport, the immigration officer told him, "Oh yeah, go and join NIUK. They will help you. That kind of stuff." Nice. So those things already is part of the vision itself. So of course, everybody knows there's only one Nigerian community in the UK. If we're being honest, the main Nigerian community is the NIUK, the go-to community. I remember when Earpiece wanted to fly to London last year, they reached out to us. Okay, nice. We know NIUK is the one. We need you guys to come and support us so that the airline was successful. And we came around. We went to their planning event, their launching in Gatwick, and so many other things as well that we do in stuff. So for me, the key factor NIUK has to be, let's come together. We have amazing Nigerians in the UK, a lot of professional staff, people who are doing amazing in their different sectors. How can we bring all those sectors together? For me, the most important thing I want to say is with mentorship, you understand? A lot of us have been here for many years. How do we uplift each other? Because a lot of people come in here, they don't have a clue. And people need some information is the key. Information is power. So I want to see a lot of young Nigerians, not just doing many jobs, but believing in themselves, you understand? A lot of people feel like, they can't work in banking sector, they can't work in this, everyone needs to do certain kind of job. No, the sky is big enough. So if we can have people who are doing certain jobs, we have people now come to our GPs, we have MPs in our community. The former Lord Mayor of Leeds, Madam Abigail Marshall. Yeah. She's a member of the community, you understand? So we want to see people like that come and educate a lot of our people, you understand? To empower them. There's another guy in Derby, Unduko Noha, the first African council in Derby. So people like him can educate and say, listen, if you can see that he can do it, I can also do it, you understand? Because a lot of our people don't have that belief. A lot of our people come here, they don't even believe in themselves. They believe they can't do certain jobs. I say, no, you can't do that job. Put yourself out there. So when you see people in the community doing it, the mentorship self and the ideas that, okay, we're coming together and people are looking up to you, there's a lot of opportunities. For me, lastly, when it comes to the community as well, I believe, as one big family, we can, be united together. We can share ideas. We can, just be one big family and get things right. Because, listen, a lot of companies are moving forward. Listen, and if we don't do it, I'm afraid we'll be left behind. But I believe NIUK is there to stay. NIUK has changed a lot of people's lives. It's sort of a home away from home for a lot of our people. People come there again. There's basically no information you want to see in the UK that you not find in the community. Just go in the search box and put it there. Oh, I need a house somewhere. Oh, I need this. I need a job. You will find it somewhere there. Right. That's exactly what it's all about.
Thank you very much. And there you have it. NIUK is here to stay. These are the words from Oluomo of Derby, the current president, I believe.
No, the founder of
the Nigerians in the UK community, who has taken time to dispel these myths, dispel the rumors, and set the record straight to ensure that every individual, every Nigerian who aspires to be a member of the community is free and welcome, and every opportunity, every suggestion is welcomed as well. Thank you very much for your time. If you have been watching, this still remains the Lost in Transit podcast, and until we come your way next time, my name is remains Olamide, and have a great day.